Hey everyone, Docwell here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over Sange and Yasha. I'm going to show you what it does, how to understand it, and when to buy it. So first off, SnY costs 4,200 gold, and that's pretty expensive in general for most items, but it's on the cheaper end of the expensive kind of late game items. And when I say late game items, I just mean items that you're going to have in your inventory into the late game for the entire game, and SnY is definitely one of those items. Then SnY gives you a lot of different stuff. It gives you 16 strength and agility, 15% status resistance, 20 attack speed, 12% movement speed, 20% health restoration, and 25% slow resistance. And that's because it's basically just a combination of two other smaller items. It's just Yasha and Sange combined. You just buy one, then you buy the other. They combine to form a single item in your inventory. And basically, if you look at Yasha and you look at Sange, you look at what they give you, it's basically the same thing that you get when you combine them. They're just amped up a little bit. So the 15 attack speed goes to 20 attack speed, 10% movement speed goes to 12, the 20% slow resistance goes to 25, and then 16% health restoration goes to 20. And that's really all there is to the item. It's pretty straightforward. There's no real active component or passive component that does anything other than these strength, agility, status resistance, movement speed, all that kind of stuff that it's just giving you passively when you have it in your inventory. You just buy this item and then you kind of forget about it. But what are the reasons that people buy this item or that certain heroes like the item? Well, the main reason, honestly, is for that status resistance and that slow resistance, as well as the health restoration amplification. Those are the main reasons that you would buy this item. Obviously, carries do like to have the Yasha in general. You know, that movement speed, that attack speed is great. But instead of buying, let's say, Manta, which is the other item that you can go, that's like a carry item with the illusions, with the dispel, that can be very good in a lot of situations. If you don't really need that, you're going to be going for SnY mainly for those things that don't allow you to be kited as easily or slowed as easily, because let's say you're a troll and you really want to get your ultimate off. You know, if you just have that little bit of stun resistance, that status resistance that makes those stuns not last as long, that can just really help you get off those spells that you need to get off in fights in order to do a lot of damage and really do what your hero does. So that's really the main way that you can think about this item, is like you just want status resistance, you want that slow resistance, and the health amplification is also pretty beneficial for some of those heroes as well. So now I can show you what SnY does, and honestly it's pretty straightforward. You have this one troll here and this other troll that has SnY, and you can just see that if you look at their health, it's a little bit different here. If you go and look at their stats over here, their damage, movement speed, armor, all that kind of stuff, the one with the SnY just has better stats overall because this is generally a good stat item. But really the thing that you want to know about this item is obviously the status resistance, like I said. So we have this line here maxed out. If you didn't know, AoE Hex is one of the abilities, so I can just hex these heroes at exactly the same time, and then we can see that this troll actually gets hexed or gets out of the hex a little bit earlier. Now there is a weird glitch where like visually this troll looks like you still can, you know, you're still a troll a little bit after it's done, which is weird, but you're still hexed, so you can't actually do anything. So it's just a glitch. I know it's Dota, they need to fix this. I don't know, maybe it's just the demo mode, but whatever. You can see that the bar above the heads of these two trolls, this one just doesn't last nearly as long. And so obviously 15%, that's not a lot. You know, it's not really a huge deal, but it is important when a hero like Troll has an ultimate that you want to get that off, and the sooner you can get that off, the more damage you can do, the more likely you are to survive in fights, especially when you have something like a Lion on the enemy team that has Hex and Stun, and maybe there's other stuns from the enemy. It just makes it a lot harder for the enemy to chain lock you down and burst you full to zero, especially because it's giving you extra health and all that stuff. And on a troll, you're buying even more health, you know, you have more armor, all that kind of stuff. So that's really important. That's basically what this item does. It just makes you tankier, harder to kill, harder to chain lock down. Then the other thing I wanted to show you briefly is just the slow resistance. So I have this Veno Gale, both of these heroes, and just show you how the one with SnY can run a little bit quicker to the spot. So we'll click them there, and we can see that the troll with SnY isn't slowed nearly as bad. Now, over time, you know, this short distance, it's not a lot, but it is significant enough that you're not going to be kited as easily on a hero like Troll when you get Galed. And Gale is one of the best slows in the entire game. So that's definitely important as well. You also have the health amplification when you're hitting the enemy, but obviously I don't think I need to show you that. You're just going to lifesteal more. That's pretty much all that you really need to think about. Is on a hero like Troll or Ursa, any hero that buys Satanic or any hero that has any kind of passive health regen or any kind of passive lifesteal, that's just going to be amplified when you have SnY in your inventory. So then what types of heroes like to buy SnY? Well, it's mainly agility and strength heroes, and it's usually carries. Like, you will have offlaners that buy it here and there, but it's mainly those kind of right-click pseudo-carry offlaners like a Bristleback or maybe a Dragon Knight. For the most part, you're not going to have SnY bought on an Axe or like a Centaur or something like that. Maybe, you know, Tide has gone it here and there, Primal Beast maybe here and there, but for the most part, it's like carry-centric heroes, like a Lifestealer, like a Troll. These are the heroes that like to buy SnY for the most part because they get kited easily and they just want to stick on targets, and all of that passive stats, all that damage, the movement speed, everything really benefits them. A hero like maybe Ursa can potentially buy it, you know, Slark maybe can potentially buy it, but they do have other ways of dealing with being locked down and stuff like that, so they don't always buy it. That's why it's not a core item of theirs. There are heroes like potentially Bloodseeker or Monkey King. They can also buy, you know, PA in certain matchups. Certain builds can also buy SnY. But again, even these heroes can buy Manta as well. So a lot of the times what you're going to be thinking is, do I want to buy Manta or do I want to buy SnY? And the main consideration there is, does that Dispel really help me with the Manta? Is that something where the illusions are really benefiting me because I have Radiance? Or do I just really not need to get slowed and locked down? Is it mostly that I will get damage off in the fights, but if they burst me full to zero with stuns, that's really all I need to be worried about? Then SnY is more of the item that you want to buy. But for the most part, it's going to be heroes that are agility or strength carries and those melee heroes that do have problems getting kited. Then in terms of how to actually build the item, I kind of already talked about that. It's just Yasha and Sange together, but really it's what do we buy first and when do we buy that? Well, we're pretty much always going to be buying the Yasha first. There are rare occasions where you might want to buy the Sange first, but even on a strength hero, Yasha is very good because the attack speed and the movement speed is just so beneficial. And hey, the agility can be good on strength heroes too because it gives you a little bit of extra armor. So even on a hero like Lifestealer, you're still probably going to be buying the Yasha first overall just to not be kited with the movement speed and to get extra attacks in with the attack speed. And it might even be one of those situations where you buy Yasha like first or second item, but then you hold it because, you know, maybe you're a troll and you buy Battle Fury, but then you buy Yasha and you go back for a BKB before you actually finish the SnY because you really need that BKB timing. And so usually you're then going to round it out with finishing the Sange as like a third, maybe fourth item to finish out the SnY, and then you keep this item in your inventory for pretty much the entire game, because if you're buying it for the status resistance, that's only going to be more important the later the game goes. And that, everyone, is SnY. I hope this helped you better understand the item and when to buy it. As always, guys, if you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.